stash. Quilts are flying, colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat. Friendship's quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our life. Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
There we go. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I remembered to turn on the sound this time, so you shouldn't just see my lips moving. You should be hearing stuff coming out of my lips as well. So And let's see, I check on my monitor to make sure everything's working okay. Yep, everything seems to be a-okay. Okay, so let's see who's joining us. Earlier, Russ was here, but Barb beat him. She was number one. He says, hi, Chad. I'm probably not here. Probably shopping with David. I guess David, his friend David, is down this weekend. It is a long weekend. It's a long weekend here for us in Ontario and across Canada, although we all call it something different. In Ontario, it's called Family Day. In other parts, it's called...
There's about 4 provinces that call it Family Day.
Oh, yeah.
I think in PEI, it's called Island Day.
Oh, okay.
And
there's Heritage Day or something out East Coast somewhere too, and yeah. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, and I guess in the States you have a long weekend too because it's Washington's birthday, I guess. So I think he's dead. Must be real.
Well, we always had the Queen's birthday.
Yeah, I know.
Too. Or
what a party pooper.
What was that?
What?
Queen Victoria Day?
Yeah, Victoria Day. That was well, we never got the Queen's birthday off, basically, not the last Queen.
Well,
Victoria Day was for Victoria, Queen Victoria. Well, that's quite a while ago. Like 100 and some odd years, more 120, 130, whatever, 40. Anyway, so who else here? Dana is here. I hope, Dana, you're feeling better. I hope your eye is healing well. And Betty is here. She says it's raining in Eastern Ohio. Our weather, it's mild. It's zero Celsius.
Yeah, 0
freezing.
Celsius, so 32 Fahrenheit. And it's mild, and it was a little bit sunny. It looks like it's a bit clouded over now, but we
went out for our walk, and it was almost shorts and sandals weather.
Yeah.
For Canadians, that is at freezing. But it's kind of nice today. But it's February. It's only February. So this is how God toys with us Canadians. He gives us this false sense of spring, and then before we know it, storm of the century, and we'll all be frozen again in place. Betty's here. I said Betty. I'm just repeating myself. Forgive me, Alzheimer's, new people every second. Caroline is here, and Gloria is here as well, and Pace. And Mona is here, Susan is here, Suzanne is here, and Charlotte is here. Greetings from Texas, Charlotte says. And Sue is here as well, the other Sue. We have lots of Susans and Sues, but Sue Norfleet. And Dubravka is here all the way from Timmins. And Donna is here as well. And let's see, did I miss anybody? Oh, Susan is saying, already liked the video because I know I will. Oh, Susan, I love your optimistic attitude for it. Judy is here from Southern Michigan, and Mary from Virginia. And it all bounced as it usually does. Karen is here. And Betty says, can hear you fine. Good. Jeannie is here as well, Rachel, and Karen Lyles is here from Vancouver, USA. Monday is Family Day in Alberta, Barb says, so you guys call it the same thing as we call it. And East Coast Kim is here, and Crocus Photographer is here, and says, all watching from sunny Regina. Kathy, Kathy's there. Yeah, I have to remember that Crocus Photographer is Kathy. Deluxe 110, which is Pam from sunny Minnesota. And Alice, Shadowwind, says hi to everyone. So, yeah, and I'm sure there'll be a few more coming in a bit to greet us, so we'll greet them back as they occur. Today, I don't know how long today's going to be, really, because, well, we get talking anyway, so it'll probably be our usual length. I just didn't have anything really juicy to talk about. Oh, there's lots of juicy things, and it's all in politics. But we're trying to put a little bit of a curb on that as well, because
beginning to get
it's just getting so old, kind of a thing. It's the same old every week, but it's the
same old new stuff every week,
and it's always ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's getting to the point now where nobody
And no more surprises.
Yeah, there's no
because
surprises. Arta is here from San Diego. She's loving the shirts. Thank you, Arta. And Sweet Granny 1 is here as well. So anyways, what have we been working on? Well, I'm not really going to show these. Well, do I have a picture of these today? I don't think I do. No, I'm saving it for the Idiot Quilter episode. But if you remember, I mentioned, I think last week, that I picked up these felt portfolios at the dollar store. And I have done 2 of them, embroidered on them. The first one, I made a few little goof ups on it in terms of where to put the design. So the second one is much better. But I'm going to talk about those on the Idiot Quilter, and I've made a video of the process as well. I know that one of the things that you guys asked me to focus on some is more process videos. So I have several process videos figured out over the next little while, and I am working on some other ideas that will be involved in that too. So yeah, you asked, you'll get. And yeah, I finished the scrap quilt. It's no longer hanging behind me. Well, you can't see anyways because we're not on screen. But if you saw So Chatty on Friday, I showed Walter how to load up the Lucey in preparation for showing him how to set up the computerized system, which will be on a video next week on So Chatty of quilting that quilt. It is done, but I'm not going to show it until you've seen the video of that. So, and then Walter has to try and do more of it on his own with my guidance, of course. There's a lot to learn in that, and you can't keep it straight in your head. It's one of those kind of things where you have to do it on a real regular basis for it to, repetition helps.
Yeah, the next So Chatty will be a little bit more interesting in that I've done camera work for.
Yeah, it'll be better. It'll be better camera work. I couldn't show Walter how to load the quilt onto Lucey and do the camera work at the same time. So I rigged up a system out in that room, and it's not the best. And the camera that I was using, it's not the best. So I apologized, but I said so in the video that the camera work kind of sucks. And yeah, but next week on So Chatty, Walter took over the camera work while I went through and explained everything, and it is much, much better. Not because Walter did it, only because of the circumstances. Don't want it to go to his head. So yeah, so sorry about that, but we're not professionals.
Also, that's good that we did that video, because if I'm doing, if I'm using the machine to,
you can use it as a reference.
then I could use it as a reference.
Yeah.
So.
I probably
should get a copy of that from you.
Yeah, well, that's definitely doable. What I should do is write out the instructions in bullet points and post it in the Lucey room. I mean, I have one there.
Yeah, but that means I have to read.
Oh, that's right. And you're illiterate. So a few people have come in while we were chatting here. I said Bonnie is here. And Rachel says, yes, Walter was sassy in that video. Yes, he was.
Why? What was? I can't remember what I said.
He's like that all the time. See, you're starting to see the true colors. Yeah, it isn't me picking on Walter. Sassy boy. Sassy. Adam's here. Hi, Adam. Speaking of sassy boys, Adam is here. Love the video. Camera shamara. Yeah. Well, content creators, this is one of the problems we have. It is when we're amateurs. I mean, yeah, you go on to YouTube and you will find these ones who put up these very polished videos, but they're also doing it. They're a business. This is their livelihood. A lot of them, the ones that have like millions of views on a video or, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, they have staff. They actually have staff. They are a business. They pay people. They have an editor. They have camera people. They have all of that. And they've got great equipment. I started out making videos using my iPhone, or actually my iPad and my iPhone, when I was doing my crafting ones. That's all I had. And then I expanded out with more webcams. But webcams are still, although they're getting better all the time, are still not the best thing for making these kinds of videos. But then you start getting into price range. You know, once you move away from webcams into something a little bit more professional, then you've got money you got to spend on a better camera system. You'll probably need a computer system that can handle the editing with it. Now, I'm lucky I have a MacBook, and my MacBook does a pretty good job, but I don't edit, well, much. I mean, basically, my editing is if I do a little tiny video clip and I insert it. I don't do a heck of a lot. Sometimes I play with the volume and that kind of thing, but that's about all I do in terms of editing. These other people, they have a script. They have a teleprompter. The guy that Brian that I interviewed a week or so ago, I was asking him off camera about his setup. He has, because this is his, he does this kind of work in his day job
professionally. Yeah,
he knows he's a graphic designer, and he knows. So I asked him about his equipment, and yeah, he has a decent camera. He has a editing suite, basically, which means he's got sophisticated computer programs for editing. He's got good lighting. He knows what he's doing. I mean, my lighting, and it's been this way for years, is I bought 2 cheap lights that are sitting on either side of our computer right now that I think I paid for the 2 of them under $50. And they're LED, and one of them I think I have a switch going in it, but that right now, what you see, the camera work that's being done here right now is through the camera in the MacBook.
And no, we don't have a teleprompter.
No, we don't have a teleprompter.
Is it? Adam says, you mean you say you don't have a teleprompter?
Yeah, I know it's hard to tell. Because I just edit as I go. But all of those things start to add up to big money. And not only that, learning curves. And really, I think, okay, you'll just think this is just justification for bad video. But I think it's more personal when you don't have all that equipment. And I think people who are making do with just their iPhone or a cheapo webcam or something like that, as long as you can see them, as long as you can hear them, then I say, great. It makes you feel a little bit more comfortable with them. They're not as posh.
It drives me nuts when you see videos that have 1 million cuts in them. Like, I mean,
yeah,
it's not so bad if it's one every once in a while, but I mean, if it's like every sentence, then the screen jumps a little bit, yeah, and they go to the next sentence, and it just drives me nuts.
Brian was really concerned about that when we talked before. I guess I should put technical term out. We had our interview, our pre-video meeting or whatever, and he was really nervous about the fact that he might trip over a word or have a pause. And I said, first of all, tripping over a word is human nature. You just move on. Everybody does it, you know. And I said, second of all, just call pauses pregnant pauses. It creates climax.
Having a teleprompter doesn't necessarily mean it's perfect, because all you have to do is listen to the latest newscasts and you can hear them reading the wrong word.
Yes. Yeah. Or sometimes, now, I mean, it's a skill using a teleprompter and making it look like you're not reading. But you'll get some YouTube creators who have a teleprompter and they're staring at the camera, and this is what I want to talk to you about today because it's really exciting and you should all know about it because I've spent a lot of time making this and I'll never come up for air until I go blue. Yeah. And that, you know, robot, you might as well use AI. Oh, people do. With that, actually, there's a whole, I'm going on a tangent now, but I just saw a whole bunch of videos that have got a lot of YouTube creators, and I'm talking about the ones that are up there, the ones that do this as a business, as I said, upset because apparently, rumor has it, that YouTube is getting pissed off with people using too much AI in their videos. And what they're doing with the AI is, now some are using it just to enhance something or to add something to their video, but it's still the human touch. Well, there's other ones that are using nothing but straight AI to create their videos, and they're making 150 videos a week or more. They're flooding YouTube with these videos, and they're repeating stuff all over again. And if you watch a YouTube that's about something that you think is going to be educational, that's sort of a documentary style kind of thing, and listen to it very carefully. You can tell it's AI generated.
Yeah, because you keep hearing the same thing over and over again. And the footage, the pictures sometimes don't match what they're talking about.
Yeah. So you know that is AI edited. Now, it used to be you could figure it out real quick because the voice was so robotic. But AI's gotten so good now at, sounding like an actual person. But if you listen to what, as Walter said, if you listen to what's being said, they will repeat the same thing at certain points over and over. Or whoever's editing it doesn't do a good job, and they get stuff that was not meant to be read, like pause, insert graphic here, and they move on with it. So yeah, AI is only as smart as the people that are using it. And but I guess they're flooding YouTube with all these videos, and the reason they're doing it is because they're making money. It's like those 5-minute crafts. Have you ever watched those? Those are bogus. There is a company in China that has all kinds of employees working for them, and their sole job is to generate those 5-minute craft videos, and it doesn't matter whether they're crap, whether they're accurate or not, because the thing is volume. The more volume, the more money they make because of advertising in it. So yeah, I think YouTube, when it first got started, was for amateurs. It was for people who just wanted a place to show something to others, something to their family, their friends, and things like that. And they just did it with a minimal amount of equipment. Well, that's all changed. But like any good thing, it always gets corrupted by other ones who see it as an opportunity to, make bucks. And some of them make a lot of bucks on it. And this is why some content creators are upset, because there was one that in this particular video I watched that they were saying they had a friend who puts up a video every week, and they do Bible stories. And they have used AI in some way to kind of enhance it a little bit, but there's still people behind it. They're putting it together. They're still doing the editing and all that. They're losing $30,000 a month. And I'm thinking, how do you make $30,000 a month on YouTube? Apparently people like their Bible stories. But yeah, so, we're not even small potatoes. We're a little speck on the head of a pin, kind of like Horton Hears a Who, if you know that Dr. Seuss story, so yeah. So back to what I was saying. Yeah, if you stumble over your tongue, you stumble over your tongue. If you occasionally didn't get your camera quite into focus, or your sound was a little, and people get upset. Oh, these ones just about rot your socks. Because they let you know in no uncertain terms. Well, I couldn't even watch your video last week because the sound was just so bad. I just couldn't hear it. It was too low. You want to say, turn up your hearing aid, bitch. But that kind of thing. Or, my God, there's a fan in the background over top of your head, and that's so ridiculous. And I'm saying I don't know if Russ has come back on here or not, but Russ got that. Somebody went nutso because missed the whole point of his video. So there's a ceiling fan, but people do this.
Well, I don't like the color of your hair.
Oh yeah. Oh, heard some say, you're fat. Not me. They never say those kind of things to me, but you're fat, or I don't like your hair, or what's that you're wearing? Okay. Did you come here to see what the content creator was wearing, or did you come for the information? Obviously you came for what
or it must
like.
Be cold in your basement because you're wearing a sweater.
Oh, how many times have I heard that comment? Oh, it must be really cold down there because you're always wearing a sweater. No, it's a fashion statement. I like this. It also is black. It's slimming.
I'm the one that usually gets cold, so
yeah. I just do this for variety because see this shirt? I'll be wearing. You'll see it the rest of this week on my videos too. Then you'll go, do you ever change your clothes? No, I don't. As a matter of fact, I have the crunch test. If I sit down and the shirt remains standing, or I can take it and fold it, and it crunches when I fold it, then it's time to wash it. Well, not really. But anyway, so a few people have joined us in this during this little rant here.
Colleen joined us.
Okay, just don't be jumping ahead on me. There's an order here. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Yeah, Rachel says, yes, Walter was sassy in that video. You sassy boy. Adam's howling. Sherry's here. Hi, Sherry. Colleen is here. And we talked about the teleprompter. Heather is here. Rachel says, there was nothing wrong with video. We could see what you were doing and could hear you. That's all we need. Well, I'm glad you could, because it was really awkward trying to do that, because that room, there is not a lot of room to move around in there. You may have noticed that. Lucey kind of fills the room. Plus, there's somebody asked if Walter does woodworking. Well, not specifically.
Not specifically. I do odd stuff, but not.
Because he's odd.
I just remembered I got one of their plants again. I was going to do that earlier.
Yeah, so we have a workshop out there, which is, well, a workshop is probably too fancy a word for it. Let's just say it's Walter's tools, and they're all over the place.
Yeah, my tools are
it's his mess.
And once in a while I clean it up, so.
Yeah, that once in a while hasn't come around in a while. And also in the one corner of the workbench is some of the grow lights. They're for the tomato plants and the peppers, the bigger section there. Then there's Lucey. And then there's 3D printers out there, my older ones, plus all my quilts are there in big zipped up canvas bags, and they're underneath the table. Then there's a big bookshelf that has all my chemicals that are left over from my days as a paper crafter, which I really should go through because half that stuff, well, I did clean it out not too long ago, but there's probably stuff in there that's gone a little bit on the hard side. Every space in that room is filled up. I mean, and we got stuff in there. Like, I have a collection of desk lamps that we don't need. They're garbage. They need to go garbage. Maybe one day we'll clean it up. But right now, no. So there's not much room for moving around without killing yourself on things. So it's difficult to film in there. Adam says, I watched a vlog where a vlogger hadn't edited out a bodily function and was hilarious. Oh. Oh, can you draw us a diagram? I'm trying to picture this. Hadn't edited out a bodily function. It was hilarious.
Well, it's either a burp or
a fart. Lucky our microphone's not that sensitive. Never mind. Thimblehook shouted at Iser says, the worst AI readers are the ones that can't read multiple numbers. Oh, yeah, that's true. Susan says, you only have one shirt each, right? Yeah, Susan. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Nina's here. Hi, Nina. And Philippa's here. Hi, Philippa. We haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing okay. Iser says, YouTube is ad bombing the podcast. I haven't seen this on other live podcasts. What, you mean this one? Ours? Right now? They're okay. I forgot to do it again. Russ told me about a setting, and I adjusted that setting so that wouldn't do it. See, we don't see those at all. So we don't know this is happening. I don't know if everybody's getting bombed. I don't think that if you pay for YouTube, you shouldn't get bombed. But I'm sorry about that. But they keep changing things, so I will have to.
You can't make a change now.
I don't think. Well, there's one thing I could do. I don't know if this will work. Okay, I just hit a button that said delay ads, and it's giving me a countdown. Looks like it only does it for about 10 minutes. So remind me in another 10 to do that. Here, I'll set my timer. I don't know if that will make a difference or not, but we'll try that. But there is, I think, a different setting, but I have to do it before we go live. And I was going to look into that today to see if I should change it. So sorry about that. Okay, so Lucy's here. Hi, Lucy. And Susan says, yes, I am, but not your fault. I don't know what that means. Okay. So what were we talking about? Oh, the ads and things like that. And yeah, and filming. So yeah, you get what you get. All right. So let's move on. Walter has a shirt that he's working on, but he's not ready to show it to you. How far are you in it?
Not very far. I haven't been doing anything with it this week, so I have to get back to it.
Well, you've been busy shoveling snow. Well, wait.
No.
We haven't had much snow, if any, this
Well,
week.
I did shovel this week.
Well, you got the driveway cleaned out at the neighbors because they were off in South Africa, and so they asked.
I was taking care of their driveway as well, and actually we did have one day where we had a fair bit of snow, and I used a snowblower.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If there isn't a lot of snow, I'll just shovel it. But we had enough that I used snowblower, so I snowblowed our driveway. I snowblowed the neighbor's driveway, and then there was a young girl across the road. She was shoveling. She was having a hard time shoveling the driveway. I went over and.
Well, didn't you say she had a little dinky shovel?
She had a little tiny shovel, and I went over and cleaned her driveway. I hadn't seen her before, but it turns out it was the lady that lives there, her granddaughter, that was doing that. The lady that lives there is in her 90s across the road, and
she cuts her own grass.
Yeah, she's about 95. Cuts her own grass. Her lawnmower is self-propelled. She just
nothing wrong with that.
But anyway, so and then I helped her, and then snowplow went by, and of course that leaves a bunch at the end of your driveway. So then I went
and they giggle
back over and did that. And then she came over with a great big bag of salt and said, "Here, it was so nice of you to do that." And I've got tons of salt in the garage.
If you do it again, maybe we'll get the pepper too with that. Well, what was I going to say about blowing out the driveway? Nothing. Well, you just live for that anyways. You love to get out your big machine and blow everybody away. But anyways, but our next door neighbors just came back from South Africa. They were there on a trip. I think they just got back yesterday, and we happened to be out for our walk and saw them outside, or the husband outside, and said, "So, good trip?" He said, "Yeah, they had a really good trip, but they were exhausted."
Yeah, because it's about a 21-hour journey to get back from South Africa to here, so
to Toronto. And they had to go through the States. They had to stop at Atlanta. Yeah, I think, and I don't know. I guess did they change planes?
Yeah, they had to change planes.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't imagine we'll see them for 2 days. They're probably sleeping.
They're probably sleeping. He said he was up 36 hours. So
good God. So well, I know they're little ducks, and I'm sure we'll be happy to see them back home because they have little Mocha, and I think while they were gone, their children, or whatever, their grown children, or one of them, looked after Mocha. And I guess they said that they have like their grandchildren are there, and the grandchildren just love Mocha. Mocha seems to like the kids.
Yeah, too, and actually it has a better temperament than their old
dog. One. Yeah. Than
Mia.
Yeah, Mia.
They had a little dachshund cross with a Chihuahua.
It was a yappy thing.
And it was really yappy.
And you couldn't get near it.
You got near you didn't even have to get near it. And all you heard was...
Yeah. It was a good little watchdog, though, because if they had it out in their backyard and we went out on our deck, it would be right there just a howling. And they'd be always calling, Mia, be quiet, Mia, be quiet. Well, you know dogs. Like, that never works. I
got used to it after a while.
I think they felt uptight about it, like it was disturbing us. It wasn't disturbing us. You know, dogs do what dogs do. They bark. at least, unless it's one of these dogs that's a killer, like the one that we passed on our walk this morning. What kind of dog is that? Is that a dope? That's not a Doberman. It's a
What? The one that
the
we
ones,
passed today?
yeah,
Rottweiler.
the Rottweiler, and it's vicious. It's huge.
I almost got attacked today.
Well, the owner of it has it on a big, thick, heavy chain, and there was nowhere for us to go. We were all coming at the same time, and that dog was just going to eat us right there. And he went off to the side of the sidewalk up on somebody's lawn with it, and he's trying to hold the thing back. They shouldn't have a dog like that.
Mm-mm.
I like animals, but this is a residential area. There are children here. There are old people here. If that dog ever broke off that chain and it would kill. It would kill. And, you know, there is no need to own a dog like that, in my opinion. This is a safe neighborhood. You do not need that dog for protection. And all it needs to do is maul a child, and all hell is going to break loose. Last summer, I was coming down the street. I was across the street, across from their house, but I was a good 35 feet away from their property, and I wasn't going anywhere near their property because they don't even have a sidewalk in front of their house on that side of the street. And I'm on the sidewalk on the opposite side. The lady of the house was outside doing something to their lawn. The dog was on the front doorstep, chained up. As soon as it saw me, it started to, it's not just a rah, 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 it's a rah, I want to eat you bark. And it just goes on, and it was straining at that chain. If that chain had snapped, there would be no way she or anybody else would have been able to control that dog. I would have been a dead meat right there, because there's no way it would go for the jugular. And this is scary. And, you know, like Walter said, you said today, if you ever hear of that dog doing something, you'll go to court and testify against them as well. I will too, because you don't want to be a Karen. Okay, quotation marks. No, not Karens, any Karens here. But, you know, like this is a danger in the neighborhood. I mean, our niece, she has a Doberman who it's such a pussy of a dog, Freddie. About a couple of years ago, she was out walking it, and somebody with pit bulls, I think
And
they
you're
were
not
pit
even
bull,
supposed to have pit bulls
No.
in our city.
They had 3 of them. None of them on a leash. She was walking down the street. Her dog's on a leash. It came out and it attacked her dog. She had to take the dog to the vet. It
was bleeding all over the
Yeah.
place, and it took quite a while for the dog to heal.
Mhm.
And for some reason, even though they're not supposed to be allowed in the city, they don't seem to do anything if it's a dog that they attack. I mean, if it was a kid that they attacked, it would be something else. But they don't seem to do that.
Yeah, so, yeah, and then she actually did file a complaint and everything, and nothing
She
happened.
even tried taking them to court, but
Yeah.
I don't think anything happened.
Well, the thing was, you can't get blood from
well,
a
the
stone.
people that were had the dog didn't have any money, so
Yeah, they're also trailer trash in the worst degree of the whole thing. But, you know, there is no need to have a dog like that. So,
it says delay ads there. It says
What?
ads resume for some down here. See?
okay, they've been delayed for another 10 minutes, it says. So, I don't know. I can't do a heck of a lot about that. Sorry. I will look into that further, because that is something that's new. They're always doing something. They don't tell us. Okay, so let's see here. Philippa says recovery's been good, not up to late night sewing just yet. Yeah, well, that's good, Philippa. I'm glad you're on the mend. And Lucy says, I found recently YouTube has upped the rate of ads and ordinary videos from all the channels I watch. Yeah, that's not surprising. They do that all the time. And it just gets more and more and more with it. It's ridiculous. Oh, Judy says, you're a sweetheart, Walter. Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah.
I'm evil.
Scott's here. Any updates on your progress in tap dancing?
I don't recall. We were talking about something last week.
About tap dancing?
Yeah, but I can't remember what that
Well, I'm going to be doing my stage debut on a Broadway show in about 3 weeks' time, so do buy tickets. No, I don't remember. I don't remember what we were talking about. Adam says to Scott, I was scared to ask. What are we talking about?
Tap dancing.
I know, but did we bring up tap dancing?
I don't know.
I have no idea what. I don't remember.
You can remind us what we.
You'll have to remind us because I have no recollection of anything, whatever that is. Says the ads are playing while you're speaking, cutting out your voice while the video plays. Bummer. Okay, well, Russ said that after the ad's over, it comes back to the part where it's interrupted and it carries on, but I don't know. Sorry, Iser, but I can't do anything about it at this point right now. As I said, I'll look into it in time for next week. Rachel says, needs training. My friend has 2 Rottweilers and they're gentle giants. Yeah, I think a lot of it too is, it's like children. Show me a bad kid, I'll show you bad parenting. Show me a bad dog, I'll show you a bad pet owner. With it too, but there are breeds that tend to be a little bit.
This thing is, I'm not sure if it's a Rottweiler. It's big.
Yeah,
I have to look up the
it's
dog.
Huge.
It's huge
and
dog.
Vicious. Oh, the teeth on it! Just
it's a huge dog, and it may not be a Rottweiler. I'm guessing it's a Rottweiler, but I gotta take a look at it because it is a very vicious dog.
Yeah. Well, Branca's here. Hi, Branca. Like I was said to Walter too. I really think this neighborhood has people that have big dogs. And for the most part, those big dogs are like collies or husky-like dogs or golden retrievers. And like there's one lady, she walks her dog all the time and she just lives down the street. And if I'm out on my walk and I see her dog, I pet the dog. The dog loves it. It is the friendliest thing. I think it might be a golden retriever, but I'm not absolutely sure. And I asked her the very first time she came up and I was talking to her and the dog is all, and I said, is your dog friendly? And she says, oh yes, this dog is. And I said, so can I pet it? And she said, sure, he'll love that. And so I gave him a pet and that. Oh, he just loved it. He just wanted to come home with me. He was taking his head and rubbing it up against my leg and just loving it. Now that's a nice dog. Okay, I love those kind of dogs. But ones with long fangs that will eat you. Not so much a fan. Let's see. Rachel says, I've not had any ads at all today. Did last week. Very random. Yeah, I don't know. Adam says, oh, are you taking back your role of Little Orphan Annie? Yes, and Walter's playing Daddy Warbucks. Warbucks?
I don't know. I can't remember.
The rich bald guy.
Yeah. Bald guy.
Yeah. Reprising your role. Yes. I asked last week if tap dancing could be an option for new vlog ideas. Oh, that's right. Yeah, no.
Well, Lucy B says Rottweilers have big jaws. Shouldn't be pets. So yeah, this thing has.
This
big
thing's
jaws.
Got big jaws. Yeah, it'll crush your nuts.
It's a big.
It will take a whole bag and just crush them.
It scared the crap out of me when it leapt at me today.
Oh yeah. That dog wanted to eat us. I mean, it was a little snack. Poor little Mocha. When they take Mocha out for a walk, Mocha's only about this big. That's not even a 2-bite brownie for a dog like that. That's just a gone. So I don't know. But anyways, okay. So that was our adventures today on our walk. Didn't see anybody else. The creepy guy, didn't see him. Haven't seen him in a little while. You ran into him though, didn't you?
No, I saw he walked by the house the other day.
Did he?
Guy. We have a guy that walks around here. We
I
call
think
him
we
the
talked
creepy
about him
guy.
before. Yeah, the creepy guy. You
You can say hi to him, but he doesn't respond.
And if he sees you, if he's coming towards you on the sidewalk, so you're going the opposite ways, he will, at the first opportunity, veer off, go onto the road, come past you and go back on the sidewalk afterwards. So I like to taunt him. I like to get right up as he's coming up. Good morning to him. his mouth sort of moves, but I'm not sure if anything's coming out of it.
I've seen him talk to people
I know.
before, but
I haven't seen the Friendly Giant in a long
well,
time.
I don't know who that is.
Well, he's the big, he big tall guy, but usually he was in the mornings. But that was when I was going out a little earlier and it was warmer too. So maybe he's a fair weathered walker. I don't know, but I've seen the creepy guy talk to him, and they've been walking side by side. So maybe it's just us. Maybe thinks rumors have it that we're weird. I probably started the rumors. Okay, so what's else up there? We talked about things. Okay, announcements. Sewing with me Wednesdays. Link in the show notes. Okay, we're having though a pop-up sew day this coming Saturday, February 21st. So the Saturday, virtual doors open at 8. We run until 4. Come and go as you please. Do whatever you want to do. If you want to run naked through your house, make sure your camera's turned off. Or maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that's this coming Saturday, the 21st. Link is already in the show notes below. Oh, by the way, a thing about the show notes. I guess I've had several people. Somebody wrote to me the other day and said they want to join in on the sew day, but they couldn't find the link. And I always say it's in the show notes. Well, here's the trick about show notes. Underneath the video, there's what they call the description box, and it's only about 2 lines. But at the end of those 2 lines, there's a ... and the word more. If you click on the word more, it expands, and then you'll see all the show notes, because I usually have quite a few things in there. And in there, you will find the links for pop-up sew days when I have them. And there's always the link in there for Sewing with Stephen. And I've just made the pop-up one. I figured out how to do it. Every time I have a pop-up sew day, I've had to change the link for it. Now, back in the old days of Zoom, I was able to make something called a reoccurring link. And that is actually what my sew days are, because it's a leftover from when I first started it. But they change things all the time. That's another company that does all these improvements. And I could not find how to do a reoccurring. So I asked AI, and it was very helpful. And I figured out how to do it. So here's my tip. If you want, you can copy out of the show notes those links. Put them in your computer somewhere where you can get at them easily enough and just be able to click on the link. That way you don't have to go all the time back to one of my videos to find the link and do it from that way. And some people have a problem because when they click on the link, they've also managed to activate the video. So I hear myself when you come on. And then you get all flustered trying to figure out how to turn it off. And I'm just delaying the ads again. We got this thing popping up. Okay. So all you have to do is, before you click the link in the show notes, if that's the way you're doing it, pause the video. Then it won't be playing. And you can still click on the link and you'll be fine. I won't have to hear myself in the background with it. So, I suggest you try that. All right, so let's see. Vlog. Okay, let's talk about last week's stuff. Monday was the first day that I have changed my vlog. It was always said vlog by Stephen, or Stephen's vlog, something like that. It is now called Monday Morning Coffee with Stephen. And I've gone to a little bit more of a chatty format. You're going to say, so what's different? Yeah, it's a little bit more chatty. It's a little looser construction. I had definite segments that I did every week. And after a while, I mean, you could probably set your watch to them. You knew what was coming up each time if you're a regular viewer. It almost felt getting a little stale. So I have mixed it up. I have kept some of the things. I have removed others. And I've been getting comments from you about what you like, what you'd like me to keep, what you don't want me to get rid of. I was surprised. I was going to get rid of or only use it occasionally the grow lights, showing you that, because every week I was showing you the picture. And you know, it's kind of like watching wallpaper or paint dry, because you can't really see the plants growing that much. But I had a lot of you. I was surprised at this. I guess some of you like watching paint dry. Everybody has a hobby. You didn't want me to get rid of that, so I'm not. But I thought maybe I will do something a little bit different with the photography. Maybe we'll get right into the middle of it or something, or spot stuff. I do have a little story this week, though, about a plant that I think I have shown, but a long, long time ago, that's upstairs. It's what we call the corn plant. And there's a story behind the corn plant, because it is a very, very, very old plant. We've had it, Walter got it before we met.
Mm-hmm.
So that plant's been
I
around.
bought it at a store that no longer exists called Zellers for $5.
I thought you got it at Walmart.
No, Zellers.
Or not Walmart. At
5 Point Small.
Oh, okay. Well, a lot of things that don't exist anymore. There. But anyways, I'm going to tell you the story about that on during morning coffee.
Every so often it gets too big, and then I chop it down again, and then.
And there goes that segment.
Oh.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cool.
Whatever. No, I will tell more details about it, but you say no more.
Mm.
No more. I've had a few people, or what else have I changed in there? I'm focusing a little bit more on 3D printing, because I've had people say they don't have a 3D printer, but they're really interested in that. So I have a little process video this week about, you know, if you want to get started in 3D printing, what printer should you buy based on my experiences? So I'm going to do little things like that. I'm also thinking, because a few people have asked, and as an experiment, not this week, but maybe the week after, going live with it. Now, when I do those, it is really early in the morning. It's usually around 7 o'clock in the morning that when I'm recording it. So that might be not so great for people. Well, people who live out in the West Coast, that's not so great. People that live across the big pond, probably during around afternoon tea or something, might. But just as an experiment to see what would happen, because people have asked for it. So I will see about that. Yeah, so on this past week's vlog, yeah, that's all I need to say about that. The Idiot Quilter, I have coming up, or I had last week, a process video on how to do the portfolios, how I use the embroidery machine for that, how you set it up, and all that kind of stuff. So I have a little video insert showing you all that. I'm planning more things with the embroidery machine. I'm working on one right now called making your own fabric using your embroidery machine. So stay tuned for that. On So Chatty, we already talked about loading a quilt this last week. This week, I'm going to show Walter how to use, and when I say I'm showing Walter, I'm showing all of you, how I set up the computer to do the quilting. And you'll get to see it actually doing all of that. And there were some problems and some mistakes, which are good, because you also told me you like to see mistakes and how I overcome them. And that's why I started the Idiot Quilter in the first place. So I'm going back to my roots with that kind of thing. Okay, so that's what's coming up and everything. And let's see, is there some comments here? Joan is here. Stephen, the ring on your right hand, very nice. A birthstone, ruby, or garnet. It is... Well, how do I get my fingers to work here? Okay, I'm sorry if I'm looking like my fingers are rude. I don't mean it to be, but I'm trying to get it up here. So yeah, this is a ruby. It is a real ruby in a gold setting. I have had this ring since I was either 16 or 18 years old. My grandmother gave it to me, bought it for me. And yeah, and it's on my hand all the time. I probably should take it into a jeweler and have the setting checked to make sure everything's secure. I did have the setting rebuilt at one point in time, like built up, because the little claws that hold the ruby in it were getting a little thin. And yeah, but it's always on my hand. It's my birthstone. It is my birthstone because it's July. So the ruby. I'm just trying to catch up here. Susan says, I love the grow lights. See, there's somebody there. Adam says, Stephen, most of us are quilters. We love tedious things that move at a snail's pace, like watching paint dry. Yeah, I suppose that's true enough. Oh, thank you, Kim, for reminding people. Yes, like, subscribe, and click the bell. I always forget to say that.
Everybody on here is subscribers.
Yeah, everybody here is already a subscriber. So yeah, because you couldn't be in here if you weren't. Barb says, oh, Ruby, don't take your love to town. Ooh, old Kenny Rogers song. Yeah. And that was reminding me of something else too, just here a moment ago. And you know, I have a hard time. Oh yeah, the grow lights. The other thing that people wanted me to keep was the segment I do on what it's looking like out our front door through the Ring camera. And a lot of you said you like to see the weather in other parts of the world and that kind of thing, and like that. So, okay. This week, the colors have changed on the lights. We were blue outside.
I'm going to put it back to blue.
Oh, are you going to put it back to blue? Because Walter changed them so they're red.
For Valentine's Day.
Yeah, for Valentine's Day. So, yeah, we're having lots of fun with the lights. It's his excuse for not taking them down.
Well, no, those aren't my Christmas. I didn't put the Christmas lights up on.
Oh,
this week I put.
No, I know, but the string of lights that's up there, you put them up for Christmas.
Yeah, but I didn't turn them on for Valentine's Day. I turned the outdoor lights out to Valentine's Day.
Oh, I thought you did the string.
No, I didn't. I was going to do that, but I forgot.
Well, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a set of lights, though.
As if you noticed.
I saw red. I don't know. There are these lights that a lot of people know. Shut up. That are getting in our neighborhood that are the thing these days. They go up underneath your eaves and everything. There. And they change all kinds. You can change them to do all kinds of things.
Yeah, that's
they're LEDs. I forget what they call them. They're kind of pricey.
Yeah, actually, I have the outdoor lights or those lights, Govee lights.
And Betty says she likes seeing the grow lights and the outside door lights as well. Adam says red lights outside may get some interesting visitors. Oh, red light district. Yeah. Cheryl's here. Hi, Cheryl.
Not in this neighborhood.
Cheryl says keep the lights on. Yeah, no, yes. Yeah. And Rachel says that the ruby is her birthstone also, and she inherited her grand's ruby ring. So yeah.
Most of the people in this neighborhood can barely walk.
Yeah. That's why. They'd be easy for this dog that we were talking about earlier to get them because they're not going to run very fast. Targets. Yeah, for sure. Barb says next you'll see Stephen dancing in the window. Maybe. Close on or close off. Your choice. And Dubrovka says she likes to grow lights and anything that grows. And outside your door too. Okay. So here we go. This thing about tap dancing. Okay.
I never liked tap dancing.
Did you do it?
No. I never liked watching tap dancing.
No, I always thought it was kind of
hokey.
Yeah. Because it is. Okay, speaking of hokey and things like that, my eye. I don't know if we told you about Walter's sty.
I had, for a couple of weeks now, I've had a sty in this eye. And then I had something really strange happen on Monday.
And? I
got a bunch of big floaters in my eye. So I went to the eye doctor just to make sure I didn't have a retinal detachment, and he said he didn't. I didn't. but I do have a bunch of floaters in that eye now.
I've had floaters in my eyes for years. I have a great big huge floater that I don't notice it as much anymore, but I think it's my brain has gotten used to it, and it just, unless you're really trying to see it, you don't so much. But yeah, well, floaters also can be an indication. Like, what did he tell you?
I guess when you get old, the vitreous in your eye
Speak for
can
yourself.
pull off of your retina, and then it causes floaters. And sometimes it can pull the retina with it, and then you have a retinal detachment. So I'm supposed to watch for retinal detachment, but I haven't any problems like that. I just have floaters, and they've been breaking apart, so I have a lot more floater.
So, but anyways, the other morning I woke up and this eye was kind of, well, the eye wasn't really red, but in the corner of my eye down here, it felt like there might have been a sty coming into it. And I had bags, big bag under that eye. Don't even go there. I know what you're thinking. Stop it. I have my wrinkle cream. And that morning I put a little extra wrinkle cream on to take the swelling down. But then, of course, first thing, Walter, you never tell Walter that you got something, because suddenly, oh my God, your eyeballs are going to drop out. They'll be rolling all over the floor,
No, I
and
just
then you'll
told
die.
you to start putting some warm compresses, because that's what the doctor always told me when if I ever have a problem with my eyes.
Well, it
Is
wasn't
warm compresses.
I figured it would go away. Well, it did during the day. Well, this morning when I woke up, I kind of had it again. And Walter has this special little eye mask that you heat up in a microwave.
I have dry eye. That eye is dry anyway. And I have been wearing a mask every morning for a few minutes because my membrana, I can't remember how to pronounce it, glands are blocked, which is what Adam sort of says. And so to relieve my dry eye, I've been wearing the mask. So I don't know, I've just been having problems this year with my eye. So,
and then you've got these little pads called, was it Sustain or something?
Yeah, Sustain, which is it's a medicated pad that you clean your eye with. So
I tried this little eye thing today and put it on, and I used the Sustain on it.
My eye mask.
It doesn't hurt or anything. It just feels a little weird. But actually right now
it's looking
okay.
Better.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've had this kind of thing before, and I've never done anything about it, and it just goes away after a day or something. So I don't get it too often. But anyways, I think it's my eyes were just sad because you had something I didn't. They want to do that. Yeah, right. But, just don't ever tell Walter
Just
if
don't
you
get
got
old.
a problem, because the first thing he jumps to is the most severe thing. My arm feels a little sore today. Oh my God, you're going to have a heart attack. Oh, do this, and you can't. Are you short of breath? Is your heart beating out of your chest? I don't know, all this kind of stuff. And I go, no, I tried to open the pickle jar.
Yeah.
I strained my muscle.
Oh yeah, Adam, I do have some special drops, but I don't think they will mix well with my contact lenses. I've been not wearing my contact lenses as much. I'm wearing them right now, but I've been going back and forth with my glasses. I don't really like wearing my glasses because I don't see as well through them, even though I've just had them updated.
Yeah, Susan's,
and I bought some, which I'm trying now, but I'm not wearing them right now, is some daily wear contacts. They're pretty good, so.
Well,
they're expensive though.
Just get your cataracts done, and you don't have to have contacts anymore. You'll end up with reading glasses, but you can't read, so that wouldn't make any difference then, would it?
No, ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha.
I have reading glass. I have what do you call those? Variegated eyeglasses.
Not variegated. I was going to say transphobia. No, that's not glasses. It's a totally different topic.
Progressive.
Progressives, that's it. Transitionals.
Transitional.
Those
Well, they're
no,
not
that's
transitional.
transitionals. The ones for sunglasses.
Transitional goes dark.
Well,
these
These are
progressive, where you look straight ahead and that's for distance, and you look down and that's for reading. So.
yes, not trans. Trifocals.
No, the floaters are not a sign of cataracts. I can see very good distance wise, but no, that has nothing to do with cataracts. Floaters are a sign of this contraction of the vitreous inside your eye.
Yeah, and Iser says, I had floaters since childhood. Didn't know it was an old people thing. Well, I had them since I was a kid too, with it. But they can get worse as you get older, apparently. And Scott says, what did you teach? Well, first I'm going to teach you how to spell my name. I am not a PH. I'm a V. Yes, I do get picky about that. Why? Because I've had people on here when I have misspelled their name tell me I have misspelled their name. And so I'm going to tell you it's with a V. V for victory. Yes. Anyways, what did I teach? English. English drama and media, actually, over the years. Rachel's had floaters since she was a very young age. Adam says bifocals. I tried bifocals once, never could get used to those either. Trifocals, yeah. Well, trifocals are like bifocals, except you get an extra thing.
This one, I don't have any lines.
But there's no lines.
There's no lines
anymore. That's why they call them progressive.
And that's why my lenses were so super expensive.
But I can't get used to where to look in them.
Plus, I have -7 in both eyes, so -7. There's the delay ads again in both eyes. So if I have just plain glasses, they're like really thick. So then they compress them so that they're not really thick, and that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, Adam says Darren has bifocal contacts. So clever, it blows my mind. I had something like that at one time too. I had two different prescriptions, one for one eye, one for the other eye, and it was supposed to give me sort of a bifocal kind of thing. It never worked with it. But that was many years ago when I wore contacts, so they probably have improved the technology by now, I would hope. Lucy says, vitreous humor, very, very focals.
Yeah, Adam, I actually wear was it lighter I wear two different contacts. They're not my proper prescription. I have one that's heavier contact that is more for distance in one eye, and less strong in this left eye for reading. So that's what I do. It sounds weird, but it works.
And again, we're back to that reading thing that you don't do.
And I can read. The only thing I don't think, one thing I still have to wear a cheater for if I want to put a thread through a needle.
Cheryl says she was 7.25 before her cataract surgery. Now she just uses readers. Yeah, I was 8 point something for me too. And then once I had my cataract surgery, like these are just for up close. It's for computer and reading. I don't need them for distance or anything like that. So
no, I won't get LASIK surgery because my eye prescription has been changing the last few years. And I like the fact that I can just change the lenses out for it. Plus, I know a couple of people that have had LASIK and they have some problems with nighttime vision. I don't want to screw that up. And the other reason I wouldn't get LASIK is if I take both contacts out, I can see really, really well up close. And I like doing that because if I need to fix something or something like that, like my watch or something like that, I can get up really close and see really well. And I don't want to screw that up.
Yeah. Adam said that once they gave Darren the wrong axis and he had to read out of the corner of his eye. It was hilarious. It would look kind of suspicious, like, hello. Yeah. Marilyn says, I was suddenly having eye issues and found out I have wet macular degeneration in one eye, which sucks, getting monthly eye injections to stop progression. Well, your mother had.
Yeah, I'm worried about I go see a eye specialist all the time, and to monitor it because my mother had macular degeneration in both eyes, and she was literally blind by the time she went into a nursing home, and I'm a little worried about that.
I know this must be a joke, but I'm not totally getting it. Scott says, "Sorry, Stephen. I was asking the other Stephen." The plot thickens. Okay. Adam says, "Agree, Barb." Okay. So yeah, well, your eyes. You got to look after your eyes.
Wearing the contacts don't bother me at all. So
No. Well, they never really bothered me either. I wore them for years. I started out when it was hard ones because I had astigmatism, and at that time they didn't have soft lenses yet, hadn't been developed that to correct astigmatism, so they were hard, like the hard ones.
yeah, it's the added expense. The other thing is I have such a bad prescription that they have to take a lot off my eyes if they were to do a LASIK. A lot of off my cornea, and I don't. It's not been.
Here's the good news after you've had that. Yeah, we've worked on your eyes. Bad news is we cut a little D with the laser. You don't have any eyes now. So put it this way, you don't have to worry about wearing contacts. So other things this week. We bought a Roku, or I did. Kind of useless.
I told you so.
Well, I'd heard other people say about these Rokus, and I think people on here are talking about, I think Russ has got one as well. And well, okay, it wasn't that expensive. I mean,
it's
50
just a
bucks.
streaming device. Well,
Yeah.
we already use Apple.
Well, we have
TV.
Apple TV, but I thought it might get me some things that we couldn't get through Apple TV. I found out no. No, you can get everything on Apple TV.
Well, except for Roku TV. But
well, yeah, but so anyways, live and learn. Like I said, I could send it back to Amazon, but yeah, it was only 50 bucks, and who knows, maybe one day I'll find a use for it or whatever. But yeah, so that was it.
It might be handy if we ever put a TV in one of the other rooms that doesn't have any connections.
Oh, true. Never thought of that. You're still harping on a new TV, aren't you?
Thinking about it.
We have perfectly good TVs.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know why you want a new TV.
Because it's there.
Unless you're going to get a 100-inch OLED.
No, that's $30,000. I'm not buying one.
You're good for it. I'm not paying for it. So whatever. Well, you got the red lights on, Roxanne. Go out and make some money. But anyways, yeah. Okay, so now it's time to turn our attention to more serious issues. Meanwhile, in Canada, okay. Well, this is very, very, very sad, and it upsets me to even bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up because we don't have this kind of thing happen in Canada often, thank God. And you've probably heard about the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge, BC, at a school. Very horrible.
How many students are in that school?
160 students is all they had. It's a small community of only about 2,300 people or something.
Yeah.
Like that. In sort of the interior part of BC, but just a shocker, an absolute shocker. And so our prime minister immediately dropped what he was doing. He and and all the party leaders, they all went to the memorial service and everything to show support for the people. The person who was the shooter, it turns out, was an 18-year-old transgendered female, and with a history of some mental problems behind that. And the horrible part of it is, we have a lot of gun laws in Canada, and she legally owned a long gun, and I guess the other one was a short gun. I don't know, whatever they call that. And they had taken those away from her at one point in time because apparently she was known to the police. They had been many times to her place, and she was suffering from mental health issues, but there wasn't any services to help her out with it. And, well, they're still trying to piece it together, the motive behind it. But it's a horrible, horrible thing. It has affected our whole country with that. But, one thing I will say is our country have come together to support those families, even though we're 5,000 kilometers away from where this took place, and other people on the East Coast and all across Canada. We all stand in solidarity for this because it is a horrible thing that has happened. And it was really nice to see that our Prime Minister and the opposition leaders as well came together to show their support for the families, the grieving families out there. And I think that's something, I think that shows you the true spirit of Canadians when that happens like that we come together and support our people with it. Anyways, that's a sad note for sure. Of course, then we have the Great Pumpkin. He's threatening that we won't be able to open our own bridge across from Detroit to Windsor, the new one called the
Gordie
Howe Bridge. They've been working on this since the early 2000s, and we paid for it. The plan is that they will share it with Michigan. After it will be a toll bridge, but once the tolls
have paid for the bridge,
then they'll continue to charge, I think, or where, but it'll be shared. The revenue will be shared equally between the state of Michigan and, I guess, Canada.
Yeah.
With it all. Of course, Trump says, well, because we've been nasty to him, he doesn't let us open. Well, he has no say in it whatsoever. And then we find out that the reason he said that is because the Ambassador Bridge, which we have had for a long, long time, that joins Canada to the United States at Windsor, heavily traveled bridge for commerce and everything else, that's owned by a billionaire, an American billionaire, which I didn't realize until this issue came up. And
he's been lobbying against the
opening of the
Gordie Howe Bridge because he'll lose money.
He'll lose money because they're probably taking the new bridge.
Yeah.
And suddenly that's when the Great Orange Pumpkin got involved with it, because he smelled his billionaire buddy complained to him. So that's fun. And this one's just funny. It's just so stupid. It's laughable. Yeah, he's not happy that we're making deals with China. And because what China's going to do? They're going to cancel hockey in Canada.
The funny thing is that there aren't very many teams. There's only about 7 teams in Canada that are hockey teams in Canada. And there's about 35, it's either 25 or 35 teams in the U.S. Yeah. And currently, I think Florida has the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Well, they won it.
Yeah.
With that. So, yeah, it's kind of changed over the years. But China doesn't give a shit about our hockey.
Why would they care about hockey?
And they wouldn't be able to stop it anyways. I mean, what a ridiculous thing. I mean, no. But, we're used to ridiculous, aren't we, these days? That's what I said. So, anyways, that's enough about what's happening in Canada. But I did have someone write me an email. Somebody who thought that they hated it when I talked about politics, and told me that I shouldn't be talking about stuff that was based on biased information and misinformation about everything. Yeah. She's obviously a Trumper. And I wrote back to her and says, well, you want to know something? When your president stops threatening my country and trying to make us into the 51st state and doing all the other nasty things he's trying to do with us, then I'll stop talking about it. But I don't get my information from somebody on a street corner. I get mine from reliable sources, and I'm going to share those with you in the resource section in the show notes. If you're interested to hear Canadians' perspective, but not only Canadians, but a couple of Americans' perspective too. There's one, I can't remember what this guy's name was, but he showed an old video that was done by Tom Brokaw. If you remember him, I think, I'm not sure he was ABC or whatever. He was the anchor for one of the major American networks for years and years and years. And he was explaining Canada to Americans. This video was made over 15 years ago. And it's kind of ironic when you listen to it, because he talks about the great relationship our two countries have with each other and the things that Canadians have done for Americans. All the stuff that Trump says that we have been so nasty and we've treated Americans badly in the whole bit. Well, if you watch that video, no, don't think so. There's another guy who's an American. His name is Jesse Dollemore. Just found him. He has, I think he puts something up every day. He talks about the issues. He is American. He doesn't just talk about Canada. He talks about what's going on in the United States, but he puts things in such a way that it's very easy to understand, and he's interesting and very reliable source because his stuff is not coming from hearsay, and he shows you actual documents and videos that prove what he's saying and everything. So he's a good one to check out too. Then we have a Canadian called Claus Kellerman. And when you first see this guy, you kind of go, whoa, what trailer did you try just crawl out?
Wild hair.
He's like, yeah. But he is very good. And he gives the Canadian perspective on everything that's going on. And he gets very animated. He does use some foul language in there as well. But his stuff is all backed up with legitimate sources as well. So once you get past the way he kind of looks like a wild man and listen to him, he's very, very informative. And last one is Planet D. This is a married couple who have traveled the world, and they now are focusing their attention on all of the things that are going on across our borders and everything like that. Again, their stuff is well researched from reliable sources. It isn't sensationalism that they're talking, but it's very good. And I think it would be very good for many people on the southern side of our border to maybe watch some of these ones that are directed by Canadians, because you're going to get a perspective that you do not get from the American news media with it. And let's face it, there's still an awful lot of Americans out there that are very ignorant to what Canada is all about, especially the further south you go in the country. So, I think we really need to educate ourselves. And these are reliable sources as well, because there's an awful lot of stuff that isn't reliable. But I did take somewhat of offense to what she said, so you know what happens when I take offense. You put your money where your mouth is, because I'm definitely going to go in and make a withdrawal. So, okay. Valentine's Day. Well, people, we just came through that. And just before we talk about Valentine's Day, is there anything here? It was NBC. Sue says that Tom Brokaw was the lead. He wrote the book, The Greatest Generation. Yeah. And Susan says he's worse than a douche. Who? Lost the thread. Cheryl says maybe people will finally revolt if anyone messes with hockey. Personally, I could care less, but I just found it funny. Yeah. Okay, so what you guys do for Valentine's Day, or do you do anything? We stayed at home. We don't do anything for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, bah humbug. It's just,
well, we did have a special day.
Well, yeah. Walter made lobster tails and a salad and cheesy garlic bread. We had that. And we did have a bottle of cheap champagne as well. And then we watched The Great British Sewing Bee, because we've been watching that a lot lately. So yeah. So that was the thrill of Valentine's Day. But boy, was it busy on Saturday for it. We went to the Village Bake Shop, which is a Dutch bakery we go to all the time. And I have never seen the lineup.
It's so busy in there.
Oh, it was so they were moving pretty fast though.
Yeah.
Because we wanted Japanese cheesecake. And when they were out, so we just had to get regular cheesecake. And then a couple of other things too, because you have to. Well, when you're in a bakery. And we went out at lunch. Now, I'm ashamed to say it, but I do like them. We went to Chick-fil-A. And there's so many things wrong with going to Chick-fil-A. American company, extreme Christian right, and do not like faggots. So, but their salad is so good. That's all we ever get. We get
the salad. We get the Southwest salad with chicken tenders.
Yeah, chicken tenders, spicy chicken tenders on it. And I always they make the best milkshakes.
And I bring my own plastic forks because in Canada, they give us these stupid
wood-like product because they're compostable
that won't pick up anything.
Yeah, so we have our own flatware that we take in to the store, but yeah. Oh, well, I justify it being that the employees at the one we go to are all Canadian, and we're helping out our people, keeping them employed. Yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Some people saying here, Rachel never liked Valentine's Day. My other half, unfortunately, does. Well, I hope you got something out of it. For Valentine's Day, Carol says, I made my family orange Jell-O with Cool Whip. Traditionally, I've made strawberry, but I was out of that. Oh, Carol. So many things wrong with what you just stated. I know you've got to be getting my goat. Really. Yeah, and if you're serious, well, if you like it, good for you. I wouldn't say I wouldn't like it.
I don't like Jell-O. Ugh.
Everybody loves Jell-O.
I don't like Jell-O.
You don't
I don't like
Jell-O.
it's rubbery. Yeah. Especially the ones that are made in restaurants are really rubbery when they chop it into cubes.
I like that.
I don't like that.
Like
I've never
hospital
liked
Jell-O, where it's been on the shelf for 3 weeks.
Never liked Jell-O.
Yeah. I like Jell-O. We used to eat a lot of Jell-O.
I mean, my mother used to make it, and I used to hate it then too.
I love Jell-O 1, 2, 3 when they had that. It separated into the 3 layers. That was cool. Cheryl says, I just bought a Japanese cheesecake for Valentine's Day. It was delicious. Yeah, it is. Japanese cheesecake seems lighter, fluffier.
I think we may back into...
Did it go back into it? I will click on that. Yeah, it was your job. You had one job to do and you blew it. Yeah. Yeah, the Japanese cheesecakes are kind of light.
Yeah, they're more of I think they whip up egg whites when you...
So I wonder when we go to Japan whether or not we'll be able to get Japanese cheesecake.
I hope
and
so.
if we can, will it be the same? Will it be better? Will it be different? That'll be interesting. We'll have to check that out. Scott says, Walter makes Stephen lobster, and Stephen says they did nothing. Jesus wept. Well, look, it wasn't like he went to the East Coast, trapped it, cleaned it, shelled it, or anything like that.
I shelled it.
Well, their lobster tails are frozen. They come from Costco.
Yeah.
They are delicious, though.
They are very good. And they're Canadian lobster tails.
Yes, they're Canadian. Yeah, they come with a little embossed flag on their little tail. No, they don't. But they are Canadian. Don Sue says, ordered pizza and salad from a local restaurant. We enjoyed it, then watched a baseball game that I napped through. Oh, basketball game. Yeah, whatever. That napped through. It's all balls. Bonus, there are leftovers. Oh, okay. We did not have leftovers from it. And our salad was freshly cultivated from our indoor garden with it. So, yeah. It was nice. I love lobster. So, Carol says, I'm serious. When AI. Okay, I think she's serious about the Jell-O. Okay. Like I said, if you enjoy it. I like Jell-O. Walter doesn't.
I don't like Jell-O.
So, good for food fights, Donna says.
Yeah.
Oops, I used to make it in a heart mold, but that's packed away somewhere.
No,
the
jelly.
days of the jelly mold. Oh, yeah. My mother had all kinds of those. They were Tupperware or something. And yeah. Lucy says, I like chewing the concentrated jelly cubes. well, I did as a kid. Okay. Well, yeah, they're probably still good as long as your teeth don't come out. You know? Barb says, where can you buy Japanese cheesecake?
Actually, you can buy it frozen at a lot of grocery
Yeah.
stores, especially if you go to Loblaw stores.
I mean,
And
we got it from an actual bakery, and they make it
we
there.
got it
But
from a bakery that makes it,
Yeah.
and there are a few bakeries around that make it. There's actually some. There's a Japanese cheesecake factory in Toronto. So,
and Adam says baked bisque cheesecake is delicious. I've made that a few times. I don't think that's something we have here. I've never seen that. My mother used to make a cheesecake that was a no-bake cheesecake, and it was basically graham cracker crumbs mixed with a little butter, pushed into the bottom of a pan, and then you mixed up cream cheese and a pudding mix or something.
I've made it a few times.
I forget what that was in that one.
I made it a few times. Last time it's been a while since I made one, and I made last time I made one, it was a pumpkin one.
Yeah, but you baked it. It was a
baked one.
Yeah, I used to make them. I used to make a chocolate marbled cheesecake that you bake. And then he turned around and told me after, so I don't really like cheesecake. I stopped making them. Years later, he makes cheesecake.
You might get it at TNT. I don't know. TNT is mostly Chinese, whereas this is Japanese. But no, you can get it at a regular Loblaw store.
Yeah.
You'll go into the frozen section. There's usually a Japanese cheesecake there.
Cheryl says you're supposed to be able to get it at Costco. I guess it depends where your Costco is or whatever. You know Costco anyways. One week they have something, and the next week it's not there anymore.
You can get regular cheesecake at Costco. A regular cheesecake is really dense, and a Japanese cheesecake is fluffy.
Very fluffy, yeah. And Adam says Basque is a cheesecake is French. It's not difficult. It's very delicious. Okay. I've never heard of it. Look that one up.
Japanese cheesecake is light and airy and fluffy, and it tastes like cheesecake.
Well, a few years ago, there was some company, Japanese
Uncle Tetsu
came to Toronto, and they were lined up around the block to get this Japanese cheesecake, and that's the first time I'd heard of it.
And you can look it up if you you can go onto Google and look up Japanese cheesecake recipe, and there's lots of recipes that you can get. And I think you have to fold egg whites into it, or something like that. It makes it fluffier
or something like that. But anyways, it was delicious, and we still have a piece of it left. We got 2 slices of that wasn't Japanese. It was regular cheesecake. It was a marbled type.
Actually, it was a cheesecake top on a brownie.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there was a brownie in it.
Yeah.
Was it a 2-bite? No. We've got a couple of Long Johns too, but that's a story for another day. Moving on.
We should cut it out soon.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Jeez.
All right, keep going.
Who died and left you producer and director? Yeah, when I want you to do things like that, you can't. But no, you missed the whole thing with the commercial come up, didn't you? You're really bad at this.
Yeah.
What a bitch. Happy Valentine's to you.
Hurry up. Move it. Move along.
Well, the other thing was I had 2 comments this week that I wanted to just talk about. So one from Quilter says, great chat. She's talking about the stuff we were talking about with the changes in the channel and things like that. I agree 100%. Many creators state a monthly sew-along and many times a no-show, irritating as a viewer. Okay, so what she's talking about is many people said they would like to see a sew-along. And I said I hesitate on that because, one, it's a commitment of time, my time. And, I wouldn't, if I started something like that, I would want to see it through. And I mentioned that there are some content creators that may have the best intentions, but then something happens in their life or whatever, and they lag behind on their schedule, and then things all fall apart. So that's really why I hesitate. However, having said that, I am thinking of another way to get around that. I haven't worked it out yet. You'll all be the first to know when I do. And Kate Gore said, part of the reason I watch is I never know what you will say. Careful reinventing of your channel content. I appreciate your careful reinventing your channel content. I appreciate your rants. Yeah, you don't ever know what I'm going to say. That's true. That's my style. with it. But that goes back to, you know, I don't edit. I am not a good, I don't have a filter. I guess that might be the term people would use. But anyways, yeah, it is who I am. And you know what I say about that, right? And I don't need to repeat the sandbox thing. Okay, so I think that's it. Oh, M's here just in time for us to leave. Okay, it's not you, M. It's our time's up.
And Scott, you're not supposed to eat the entire cheesecake. You just have a small piece.
You can have a cheat day. Yeah, maybe several of them. Okay. He's a live cannon is Stephen. Okay. We're going to have to work on your sentence construction. We're going to work on a lot of people's sentence construction. But anyways, okay. Well, everybody, I hope you've had had a good week. I hope you've got a good week coming up. I guess many of us here in North America, anyways, between Canada and the United States, we're off tomorrow. Not that it makes any difference to us because we're retired. So every day is a long weekend for that. And tune into my videos, our videos next week and everything. And we'll talk to everybody later. So have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.